My NASCAR VR experience has just been overhauled thanks to Pimax. Hello everybody and welcome to the first VR video we've done in a while, and I've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about as I wanted to go onto Assetto Corsa with the NASCAR 2025 mod and race around Chicago street course as my first moment with this new VR that I have in my hands. And of course I get dumped by Joey Logano right off the bat, me not checking my mirrors now, as you were seeing from the right eye perspective of the Pimax Crystal Super. And stick around, in a few minutes time I'm gonna hook you guys up with a big Black Friday deal and discount as well that they have rolling if you want to get your hands on the same equipment or similar equipment. And I'll also dive into some of the specifics of the hardware that we've got used here in this VR. But this is the first time in a long time that I've strapped a VR on my head, and I felt like Chicago Street Course was a really good kind of way to get myself into the realm of immersion. And right off the bat, I mean, we've got some stack ups here. Joey Logano, he went from wrecking me to nearly wrecking himself right there. But what I really was enjoying right off the bat was just how kind of closed in I felt in a way, because you got the walls on your left, you got the walls on your right. You're so tight here at the Chicago Street Course, and I was genuinely, like, when you're racing on a monitor you can be really careless, but when you're in a VR it's just, it kind of just changes what goes on in your brain, and I felt like I couldn't really make any mistakes anymore. I had to be careful because I didn't want to just fly into a wall. I was driving around this track genuinely, like, I wouldn't say scared, but that's almost the way to put it. I was driving scared around this racetrack, and I wasn't able to really execute all the pace that I was capable of yet because I was afraid of sliding off into a wall, which we're actually going to do right there. We clipped the wall on the left side as I am just wheeling this thing and trying to get acclimated with the car in these opening moments here from Chicago. But we're doing 10 laps around the street course, and we're going to see how far forward we can go here on Assetto Corsa. I'm going to be doing a few more VR videos over the next few months on iRacing as well, more Assetto Corsa. You're going to see some eye tracking capabilities brought in, but for the first video I really wanted to go straight forward, basically plug it in, play, and what you see is what you get kind of from a very default experience, and we're going to continue to fine-tune it over the next few months. But it's such a strange feeling to kind of strap back into VR, and I already had previously a Meta Quest, and I mean, massive difference between the two products, and this was a huge step up for me. One of the biggest things was right off the bat, just the default headset itself. Strapping it on my head, I had, you know, no visual of what was going on outside, and it really kind of immersed me in the game more than I could ever get from the Meta Quest, because I could always kind of see the light around me in the room, and I wasn't really closed off. Where the Crystal Super, the Pimax Crystal Super strapped on my head, I mean, I was closed right off, as we're going to go for a big dive bomb up the inside of the 14 here of Chase Briscoe as we just passed the 2025 19 of Chase Briscoe. You see me checking my mirrors there. You got the mirror, of course, on the windshield, but you also got the rear view camera there on the dash. I was actually in VR relying a lot more, of course, on the digital camera versus the actual mirror on the windshield, and as well in VR just relying on the mirrors a lot more than I ever do when I'm racing on the monitors. It really puts you into having to pay attention a lot more to what's going on as we're racing the 22 of Joey Logano right here, and he is not making life easy. Of course, I feel like we kind of owe him a little bit now for what happened on the start now as we get up through the gears here now and rolling. But another thing was just how much clearer things were from my experience when I had previously played with my Meta Quest. I had a big issue with just blurriness, and that always threw me off of playing in VR, and I come over to this Pimax Crystal Super and it was so much clearer than what I had in my previous experience, and my eyes and whatnot would not actually feel strained after this experience, and that was really crucial for me because when I would play on my Meta Quest before, you know, I was ready to put it away after racing for 30 minutes and I'd already had enough, but with the Pimax here I was having a really good time, and overall didn't have that same feeling by the end of this play session here. And really just those kind of things combined of how well it closes you off from the environment around you, and as well how much clearer it is compared to my previous headset, it really allowed me to get immersed here. Now, as you can see, us starting to get a little bit more comfortable now and then work our way through some traffic here up the inside of the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek as I'm going to slam into the wall. Yikes, but we're okay. The damage is turned down pretty low because I felt like I was going to make some mistakes in this one as I was still getting used to, you know, the VR experience here and getting back up to speed. But overall, I mean, it could have been worse right there. We at least haven't gone in the wrong direction as we're going to make a move up the inside of Denny Hamlin. Now, I want to bring up as well as you continue to watch the racing that if you want to get your hands on this VR experience from Pimax, they are actually offering a Black Friday deal right now, and they've got multiple bundles up, and you can use my links down below in the description, but you can get $70 off on a Crystal Light bundle, which is like a step down from the one that I'm using currently, and of course that $70 off with the Black Friday deal, you can also stack that with my coupon code GOIN, which will give you another 3% discount. All of the Crystal Light related bundles support my 3% code, so if you use that code with the $70 off, you're basically getting nearly 15% off of the product. Now, for the actual Crystal Super, which is what I'm using in this video, there is no direct price drop like the $70 on the Crystal Light, but they do offer free shipping that you can also use with my code GOIN for the 3% discount. And also on top of that, all the bundles, like I said, support my 3% code except for the OLED bundle for the Crystal Super. But on top of that, if you don't want my 3% code, you can actually, when you're buying one of the bundles, you can actually get a free iRacing gift card or a free 12-month membership if you are a new iRacing member as well, but you can't use those with my 3% discount, but you're actually getting a way better deal if you go for, say, the free 12-month membership for iRacing when buying the product as well. So just be known down below. Still, you can use my link to get to the website, and as well, if you get one of the products, not only are you helping yourself, getting a really cool experience, you're helping me big time as well. But as we continue to fight here alongside Eric Jones, you can kind of just see how much more, I wouldn't say thought, but how much more patient and how much more careful I'm being with my moves as we continue here to the back half of the circuit at this point. And we're coming up on the back of the 34 here of Todd Gilliland. I almost wanted to call him Eric Jones from my NASCAR Heat 5 career mode series, but nonetheless, we're going to scrap it out with him down the front straightaway, heading down into turn number 1 side by side here as we got the 41 of Cole Custer just up in front, as well as actually scrape the wall there on the right side. One thing I was noticing is that the depth perception, of course, is so different when you hop into a VR versus your monitors. I mean, you're right there in the car at that point, but I was noticing I was hitting walls on the right side a little bit easier than I usually do, so that was something I was trying to get a little bit more used to, was just kind of knowing where my right side of the car is basically here as we now make a pass on the 41 of Cole Custer, coming up on the back of side-by-side action here. In front of us, there's the 4 of Noah Gregson. Now as we're lined up behind him, you see me checking the mirrors and the camera to make sure I'm in a good position, make sure no one's alongside, as we'll just kind of wait for an opportunity behind this 4 car now as we continue to just settle and be patient. But we've got some really good speed as we continue to just kind of slowly but surely climb through traffic, but actually a checkup in front of us. We slide, save it with some help there from the wall, and we continue up towards the back of this 4 once again. So not what I wanted there, but a lap later, a big dive bomb here up the inside into turn 6. This is by far my favorite corner for just sending it, and we make a nice little pass right there as we'll now roll up to the 17 of Chris Buescher. Do I show the nose? I'm close. I'm going to get alongside him, but a contact there with the 17, and we continue to settle in though. Couldn't quite make the move now as I was trying to get super close to these walls here, but that was my biggest challenge in VR, is just the simple fact that I almost felt scared to a point to get near those walls just because of the kind of immersion level, right? I'm like, I know if I hit that wall, it's not going to hurt me, but when I strap like the headset on, it's like, well, I don't want to hit that wall, you know. And normally I don't care if I hit a wall, scrape a wall, whatever, but now I'm like, I really don't want to even get near that wall, as we're going to go and pass the 2 car of Austin Cindric through the bend, nearly into the outside wall right there, and we continue to roll forward here now as we continue up towards the back of the 01 Rick Ware Ford Mustang of Corey LaJoie, as we've got just a few laps to go at this point now, as we're coming actually to the final lap. This time by is a big dive bomb up the inside of the penultimate corner here on LaJoie and Ryan Blaney as well. I think Blaney, yeah, he's still to my left side, I believe, so we got to leave him room. Yes, there you see him pop up into the mirror now. So we're coming up to the final lap, and we are, I believe, in 12th position. You can, of course, adjust where like the HUD is in VR, and that's something we're going to do going forward, so you can kind of see it more better on your screen. But nonetheless, we start the final lap here from this Chicago street course, and we're rolling up to the back of the 5 of Kyle Larson. Can we pass this 5 with 1 lap to go here now? As he leaves the door open, he's kind of inviting me up the inside right there, but I'm just being a little bit more patient. And now with a nice run here down the straightaway, I don't think we're going to be close enough. Hold on, Larson checks up, and these checkups like that really catch you off guard, or it really kind of get you antsy in the VR, because of course with the depth perception, and you feel like you're in the car, the sizing, everything feels like it's accurately, to real life size. So it kind of just makes your brain really work different as we continue now towards the back of this 5, and feel like you can see a big difference in my driving habits here now as I'm getting a little bit closer to the walls. I feel like I'm driving a lot more confident as I'm getting more used to the VR experience as we dive up the inside of the number 5, sideways, clip the wall, contact with Larson there, got a little bit too aggressive now. I know he's alongside me on the left side, but we try to leave room. We clear him now as we come through the long sweeping left bend here and just try to bring it home at this point now. And my goodness, what an experience here as we come up to the final couple of corners now, and we'll get the 5 car on this final lap, slipping and sliding around, low grip here on the exit of the right-hander. But as we come through towards the final turn, we did a really solid job working our way through traffic all race long, and we bring it home in our first Pimax Crystal Super experience with one heck of a fight through the field here in Chicago. And I got a lot more comfortable and confident towards the end as we wrap things up, and you're gonna see me after the race like I'm just relieved. I'm like, my goodness, that was it. It was almost stressful, but it was a great experience. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next VR video that we do. Thank you for watching. Links down below. Use my referral links. You can get the Black Friday deals as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.